the silent genius beneath the waves. There's something unsettling about locking eyes with an octopus. It's not fear exactly, it's recognition. That steady gaze looking back at you feels aware, like someone's home. And that's because someone is. We're used to intelligence coming in familiar packages, warm-blooded, four-legged, maybe with a wagging tail or an opposable thumb. But the octopus shatters that comfortable assumption. Here's a creature that shares almost nothing with us. No bones to hold it together, no voice to call out, no long years to accumulate wisdom. Yet it thinks, remembers, and problem solves in ways that leave scientists scratching their heads. How does something so fundamentally different end up so remarkably smart? A body that thinks for itself. Watch an octopus move, and you'll see something almost supernatural. Those 8 arms don't wait for instructions. They're out there making their own decisions. While your brain micromanages every finger movement, an octopus basically tells its arms, go explore, and trust them to figure out the details. This isn't some biological quirk. It's a completely different operating system for intelligence. 2/3 of an octopus's neurons live in its arms, not its head. Each arm can taste what it touches, feel texture, sense chemicals, and decide whether to grab, release, or pull back, all without bothering the main brain. Imagine if your hand could taste food, decide if it's safe, and start eating before you even realize you were hungry. That's not a body. That's a committee. This distributed intelligence means an octopus doesn't experience the world the way we do. When it reaches into a dark crevice, hunting for crabs, it's not hoping or guessing. Its arm knows what it's touching before the brain gets the memo. The suckers are reading chemical signatures, texture, even subtle water movements. By the time the central brain gets involved, the arm has already done half the thinking. It's democracy of the nervous system, and it works beautifully, seeing a world we can't. Here's where it gets weirder. Octopuses are technically colorblind, yet they're the undisputed masters of color camouflage. How does that work? Turns out they cheat, in the most ingenious way possible. While they may not process color through their eyes like we do, their skin can sense light directly. Recent research suggests octopus skin contains the same light-sensitive proteins found in their eyes. They're literally seeing with their entire body, detecting changes in light and shadow, without needing their brain to process visual information first. They also perceive polarized light. Imagine wearing special sunglasses that let you see through water glare and spot transparent jellyfish that are invisible to everyone else. That's standard equipment for an octopus. And that famous camouflage? It's not just reactive, it's expressive. An octopus doesn't just hide, it performs. Smooth skin suddenly erupts into spiky textures. Colors ripple across its body like a living mood ring. It can impersonate rocks, coral, even toxic fish. Scientists have watched octopuses coordinate these changes across their entire body in under a second, faster than you can snap your fingers. This isn't just survival. It's artistry with purpose. The escape artist who plans ahead. If you want to truly appreciate octopus intelligence, put food in a child-proof jar and give it to one. What happens next demolishes any notion that these creatures are just instinct-driven blobs. The octopus doesn't thrash around or give up. It examines the jar, rotates it, tests the lid with varying pressure, then methodically, deliberately unscrews it, not by accident, not through trial and error, with clear intent. Do it again months later, the octopus remembers. Problem already solved. Lid off in seconds. Aquarium workers worldwide share a particular kind of war story, the octopus escape. These aren't rare flukes. They're practically standard operating procedure. Octopuses have squeezed through gaps the size of a quarter. Their only hard part is a tiny beak. They've climbed out of tanks, crossed dry floors, opened adjacent tanks to snack on fish, and returned home before morning like nothing happened. Some have learned to short-circuit lights by spraying water at them. Apparently, they hate bright lights and figured out how to turn them off. One famous case involved an octopus that kept escaping to eat sharks in a neighboring tank. Staff couldn't figure out how fish kept disappearing until they caught the octopus red-handed, red-armed, in the act. That's not survival instinct. That's a heist. Personalities, grudges, and grief. Here's what really messes with our understanding of intelligence. Octopuses have opinions about people. Scientists working with them quickly learn that not all octopuses are created equal. Some are friendly and curious, reaching out to touch hands and investigate new objects. Others are grumpy recluses who want to be left alone. A few are straight-up jerks. And they remember faces. Research shows octopuses treat different humans differently, even when those humans look similar. Some lab octopuses have been known to squirt water specifically at researchers they don't like, while remaining calm with others. That's not random. That's a grudge. This suggests something profound, emotional memory. The octopus isn't just remembering that person gave me food or that person annoyed me. It's developing relationships, positive and negative, with individuals. They also show signs of play, that rarest marker of intelligence. Octopuses have been filmed repeatedly bouncing objects, passing toys between arms, and interacting with floating debris in ways that serve no survival purpose. They're just having fun, and when they're hurt, they remember. Modern research confirms octopuses feel pain, avoid situations where they've been injured, and change behavior based on negative experiences. Several countries now legally recognize them as sentient beings, requiring ethical treatment in research, which makes what happens next even more heartbreaking. The cruelest biological clock. For all their intelligence, awareness, and personality, most octopuses live only 1 to 3 years. That's it. 1 trip around the sun, maybe 2 if they're lucky. Females get an even rawer deal. After mating once, just once, they lay thousands of eggs and stop eating entirely. For months, they guard those eggs obsessively, cleaning them, protecting them, slowly starving. When the babies finally hatch, the mother dies, not from predators or disease, but from complete biological shutdown. All that intelligence, all that personality, all that capacity for learning and memory, gone in less time than it takes a human child to learn to read. Why would evolution build such an extraordinary mind, then destroy it so quickly? It's one of biology's most frustrating mysteries. The prevailing theory is that rapid reproduction outweighs long-term survival in octopus ecology. They need to breed fast in an ocean full of predators. But that doesn't quite satisfy the question, because this isn't just smart behavior. This is intelligence, flexible, creative, problem-solving intelligence. The kind that seems wasted on such a short lifespan. An alien intelligence. Humans and octopuses last shared a common ancestor over 500 million years ago, some primitive worm-like creature in the ancient ocean. Since then, our evolutionary paths haven't just diverged, they've sprinted in completely opposite directions. We developed bones, walked on land, grew big brains in centralized packages, created language, built societies. They stayed in the ocean, kept their soft bodies, distributed their neurons, evolved camouflage instead of communication, and remained fiercely solitary. And yet both lineages arrived at the same destination, intelligence. This is why scientists sometimes call octopuses the closest thing to an alien intelligence we'll ever meet. Not because they're strange, but because their minds work on completely different principles than ours. We think in words, categories, linear sequences. Octopuses think in sensations, textures, chemical gradients. We learn from teachers, culture, accumulated knowledge. Every octopus learns everything alone from scratch. No parents to teach them. No society to pass down tricks. No language to share discoveries. Just mind versus environment. And somehow it's enough. Watching the world change. Right now, somewhere in the deep, an octopus is solving a problem we'll never witness. Maybe it's figuring out how to crack open a new type of mollusk. Maybe it's mapping a route between hunting grounds. Maybe it's just playing with a piece of debris. Curious about how it moves. And it's doing all of this in an ocean that's rapidly changing. Water temperatures rising. Coral reefs bleaching. Plastic debris everywhere. Chemical compositions shifting. The sensory world octopuses rely on is being scrambled. They're adaptable, arguably more adaptable than most creatures. But even intelligence has limits when the entire environment transforms faster than evolution can keep up. Yet octopuses don't complain. They don't protest. They simply adjust, survive, or quietly disappear. No roar. No last stand. Just thought. Remarkable, alien, beautiful thought, continuing until it can't anymore. What the octopus teaches us. There's a certain human arrogance in how we've traditionally defined intelligence. We've assumed it requires certain ingredients: a big brain, social structures, long lifespans, maybe language. The octopus proves we've been thinking too small. Intelligence can exist without bones or vocal cords. It can thrive without society or schools. It can solve problems, remember faces, plan futures, and experience something like emotion, all within a body that looks like it belongs in an alien movie. This matters beyond curiosity. It challenges how we think about minds, consciousness, and what deserves moral consideration. If something can suffer, remember, problem solve, and have preferences, if it can be someone rather than just something, does it matter whether it has a spine, or speaks our language, or lives longer than a couple years? The octopus, in its silent way, forces us to expand our circle of empathy, not because it's cute or cuddly or relates to us, but because beneath those strange, unblinking eyes is genuine awareness, a mind experiencing its world with as much richness and intention as any creature on Earth. The silent genius. There's no epilogue that ties this up neatly, because octopuses are still out there, still evolving, still thinking in ways we barely understand. They won't inherit the Earth. They won't build monuments or write books or leave behind a legacy that future octopuses will study. But they do something arguably more extraordinary. They prove intelligence doesn't need any of that. Sometimes the smartest minds on planet live and die in complete silence, solving problems we'll never see, experiencing wonders we can't imagine, reminding us that the universe is far stranger and far more thoughtful than we give it credit for. And maybe that's exactly how it should be, because the octopus doesn't need our recognition to be remarkable. It just is